Imagine waking up tomorrow and hearing an impossible announcement. Starting today, Earth's average temperature will rise by 1 degree Celsius every month. Not just once. Every single month. No one knows why. No one can stop it. At first, 1 degree doesn't sound terrifying. The temperature outside changes by more than that every day. But this isn't local weather. This is the average temperature of the entire planet, its oceans, continents, forests, and atmosphere, all warming together. So, how long would civilization survive? Let's find out. Month 1. Earth is now 1 degree hotter. At first, everyday life continues almost normally. Most people still go to work, children still attend school, airports remain crowded, and supermarkets remain full. But meteorologists begin recording heatwaves in places that rarely experience them. Millions of air conditioners run continuously, pushing electrical grids dangerously close to their limits. Farmers notice crops developing too quickly. Plants lose more water through their leaves, while soil dries faster than expected. People call it an unusually hot month. Scientists know it is only the beginning. 30 days later, the temperature rises again. At 2 degrees above normal, the hottest regions on Earth become nearly unbearable. Wildfires spread across enormous areas. Firefighters struggle to control several disasters at once as dry vegetation turns entire landscapes into fuel. Reservoirs begin shrinking. Rivers run lower. Cities introduce restrictions on water use. The oceans absorb much of the additional heat, damaging coral reefs and disrupting marine ecosystems. Governments prepare emergency plans. But most people continue living as if everything will soon return to normal. Then month 3 arrives. The planet is now 3 degrees hotter. Electricity demand exceeds what many countries can produce. Rolling blackouts become common. And during extreme heat, losing power doesn't just mean losing lights or internet access. It means losing air conditioning. Hospitals fill with patients suffering from dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Food prices surge as harvests decline. Some rivers and lakes become too warm for fish to survive. Livestock struggle to eat, reproduce, or remain outdoors. Millions begin leaving the hottest regions. Humanity's largest climate migration has begun. Month 4. The global temperature is now 4 degrees higher than it was only 4 months ago. Entire harvests fail. Countries stop exporting grain because they need every remaining supply for their own populations. Water becomes more valuable than fuel. Airports cancel flights during the hottest hours because warmer air is less dense, making it harder for fully loaded aircraft to take off. Roads begin to soften. Railway tracks bend in the heat. Power lines expand and sag. Cooling shelters appear inside stadiums, underground stations, and shopping centers. The world economy enters freefall. Then comes month 5. In many tropical regions, surviving outdoors for long periods becomes dangerous. The ocean continues absorbing incredible amounts of heat. Coral reefs suffer catastrophic losses, destroying habitats used by countless marine species. Fish populations move toward cooler waters, leaving communities that depend on fishing without food or income. Governments begin rationing electricity and drinking water. People finally understand the truth. This isn't temporary. There will be no return to normal. Month 6. Millions are now moving toward cooler regions. Northern Canada, Scandinavia, Siberia, Patagonia, places once considered too cold or remote, suddenly become some of the most valuable land on Earth. Borders close as governments realize they cannot accommodate everyone. Conflicts erupt over rivers, reservoirs, farmland, and functioning power stations. Coastal flooding becomes more frequent as warmer water expands and land ice melts. Salt water enters freshwater systems, contaminating supplies far inland. Supermarket shelves begin to empty. Food is still being produced somewhere. The problem is getting it to the people who need it. Then the 7th increase arrives. It doesn't simply change the climate, it changes human civilization. Entire countries reverse their daily schedules. Schools open after sunset, offices operate through the night, delivery trucks move only in darkness. Cities that once came alive during the day now hide from the Sunday. People stop checking the normal temperature. Instead, They watch the wet bulb temperature, a measurement combining heat and humidity. When it becomes too high, sweat can no longer cool the human body effectively. Even a healthy person resting in the shade with unlimited drinking water may eventually die from overheating. For the first time, parts of Earth become temporarily unsurvivable outdoors without artificial cooling. Mass evacuations begin. Temporary cities appear in colder regions, filled with tents, shipping containers, and prefabricated shelters. Their enormous cooling systems consume unbelievable amounts of electricity. Meanwhile, the nations people abandoned become ghost countries. Roads crack, runways soften, bridges expand beyond their design limits. And then, the global supply chain starts breaking. Ports are damaged by flooding and violent storms. Factories close because workers cannot safely operate inside them. Replacement parts, medicines, and computer chips stop arriving. A single broken water pump can leave an entire town without clean water because the part needed to repair it is no longer manufactured. Suddenly, every working machine becomes precious. Month 8 arrives, and Earth's oceans begin fighting back. Extremely warm water provides more energy and moisture for powerful storms. Hurricanes produce heavier rainfall, and severe coastal disasters become harder to recover from. Sea walls fail. Major ports are abandoned. Salt water pushes farther into rivers and underground water supplies. At the same time, disease-carrying insects expand into regions that were once too cold for them. Hospitals already overwhelmed by heat now face new outbreaks. Scientists continue searching for an explanation. The sun hasn't changed. Volcanoes aren't responsible. Known greenhouse warming cannot explain a rise this fast. It is as if the planet has entered an entirely new set of rules. By month 9, money begins losing its meaning. You can't eat it. You can't drink it. And it cannot cool your home when the electrical grid no longer works. Communities trade food, batteries, medicine, fuel, and clean water instead of cash. Some of the wealthiest people retreat into underground shelters and self-sustaining compounds. Others discover that no amount of money can purchase a stable climate. Outside, wildlife disappears at a terrifying rate. Bird migration routes collapse. Pollinating insects vanish from entire regions. Forests fall silent. Children grow up without hearing birdsong in places where it once filled every morning. Then comes month 10. The world is now 10 degrees hotter. Greenland and other major ice regions are losing ice at extraordinary rates. Sea levels rise not by meters overnight, but quickly enough that governments stop rebuilding repeatedly flooded neighborhoods. Instead, they abandon them. Cities retreat inland. Famous landmarks stand surrounded by water where streets once existed. Traditional farming has become impossible across much of the world. Agriculture moves indoors. Vertical farms grow carefully rationed food beneath LED lights. Water is continuously recycled. Artificial intelligence controls electricity consumption minute by minute. Robots perform dangerous outdoor work while humans remain inside protected structures. Humanity hasn't surrendered. It is reinventing itself. But every adaptation requires more energy, more resources, and more functioning technology. Then the 11th month arrives. Global energy demand reaches impossible levels. Governments intentionally disconnect entire regions from their power grids to keep hospitals, water systems, and emergency shelters operating. Internet infrastructure becomes unstable. Not because the technology itself has vanished, but because the power stations, cables, cooling systems, and repair crews supporting it can no longer function everywhere. Billions lose instant access to the rest of the world. Civilization becomes local again. Neighbors matter more than distant institutions. Communities matter more than nations. Survival depends on cooperation, not competition. Then the final month arrives. Exactly 1 year after the first announcement, Earth is 12 degrees hotter on average. The planet is almost unrecognizable. The beaches where families spent their summers, the forests they explored, the ski resorts, the farms, the coral reefs. Many now exist only in photographs and memories. Entire ecosystems have disappeared. Billions of people have been displaced, and countless others have died from heat, hunger, disease, conflict, or infrastructure collapse. But humanity is still here. Smaller, weaker, changed forever. The survivors live in protected settlements, many located underground or in the coolest remaining regions. Every drop of water is recycled. Every portion of food is calculated. Every building is designed to reflect heat. Children learn about the 4 seasons the same way we learn about lost civilizations, as something that once existed. Then, 30 days later, scientists gather once again. The entire world watches. Nobody speaks. Everyone already knows what the satellites are about to confirm. Earth's average temperature has increased by another degree. The countdown never stopped. Because the most terrifying part of this story isn't that humanity survived one impossible year. It is realizing that the next year would be even worse. Fortunately, this is only a thought experiment. In reality, Earth is not expected to warm by 1 degree every month. Real global warming develops over much longer periods. But the experiment reveals something important. Civilization isn't held together only by concrete, money, or technology. It is held together by a climate stable enough for all those things to exist. Lose that stability, and everything else begins to fall apart.